Regrets. We all have them. How do they affect our lives? Do they shape our personalities? And if we could change them, would they change us?
I have a lot of them.
Want to share one of them?
I'll share one of them. I don't know whether it's my biggest one. Here's a generic regret. Here's a general regret, like the mother of all regrets. This is a good regret. This is true. There have been a lot of times in my life when I haven't really been true to myself, when I haven't said or done things that are consistent with what I deeply believe and what I strongly feel, because I've wanted to try to please other people. The older I get, the more I realize that it's foolish to do that, that in the end, it doesn't really matter too much or at all what people think of you, that you need to be true to yourself and do what you think is right and do what you want to do, unless that involves hurting other people or compromising important values. But that's, for me, the mother of all regrets. It's the one that kind of includes a whole bunch of more specific regrets, which will remain undisclosed at this time.
So, if you could go back and change those times where you regretted not doing that, would you change it?
Yes, of course I would. I've always found it annoying when people say I wouldn't change a thing. I think they're either unbelievably forgetful or have very low standards.
Do you think that these regrets have changed you as a person? Like they represent your personality now?
In some sense, they.
Or do you think you've been pretty true to that?
It's a tough call. I'm not sure whether I would be a little bit obsessive in thinking of past mistakes or past missed opportunities, even if I didn't have a lot of them. Or, thank you, Josh. Here's what I'm trying to say. This is the question. Is it my obsessiveness that leads me to dwell more than I really need to or should on past regrets? Because I don't really have any more to be regretful about than other people? Or is it the fact that I have a whole lot of stuff to be regretful about that leads me to spend a good amount of time obsessing over these things, if you understand what I'm saying? I think actually I'm somebody who's always spent a lot of time inside his own head thinking about everything, and therefore probably I don't have any more to regret than anybody else, but my style, my cognitive style.
I think my biggest regret is probably not being able to afford the college that I really wanted to go to, at least for the first 2 years of my college. I applied to 4 schools. They all had to be state-supported New York State ones, so I could use my Regents scholarship, and I really wanted to go to Cornell. But I ended up going to University of Buffalo for my first 2 years and living at home in order to save money. At the time, both my brother and sister, who are older than I am, were in college also, and financially we couldn't afford Cornell. So that's why I ended up going to University of Buffalo for 2 years and living at home. I think if I could have changed things, I would definitely have been happier going away to school. University of Buffalo is a huge university, and the classes are huge. I remember being very frustrated and not being able to get in to see the professor even. The TAs often didn't speak English. And socially also, my life hadn't really changed since high school. It was pretty much the same friends and this. I think I would have definitely been happier those first 2 years of college if I had gone away. I sort of felt like I was shortchanged a bit my college experience just because it was over within 2 years of going away. I probably would have grown up a little bit quicker if I had gone away. But in the end, I did graduate from the college that I wanted to go to. So
Colleges actually are, from a small one to a large one, or one that's liberal arts to one that's more big enough to have a lot of if I could change it, I probably would have gone to not a liberal arts college, but go to a more technical or technology institute.
What is your biggest regret?
My biggest regret is not knowing the right college to go to.
Oh.
And if I probably could have gone to a different one.
Okay. Does it have some influence about your life?
Yes.
Oh my God, you're going to record this? My biggest regret. That's really a big question. I think one of my biggest regrets was when I graduated from high school, that I went to college with the idea of that I needed something to fall back on, and rather than to kind of go for what I loved to do. Now I got there eventually, but it took me a long time to get back around to it. So sometimes I feel like I lost some time. But on the other hand, I wouldn't be who I am now if I hadn't gone the long way round.
And you just answered the second question.
Oh, okay. What's the second question?
If you could go back in time and change it, would you?
Ooh, I would be very tempted. I don't know. I honestly don't know the answer.
Did you get the shoes? I did. They're like...
Excuse me, there's an interview going on here. You're robbing my camera time. Oh my
You
God.
have to read Nietzsche's Eternal Return of the Same, and you would not say that because you can't change. You can't change your life like that. You know, you have to accept all pieces and break it down.
Okay.
What I would do, I
But
would
perhaps they would be in a different order, and but would I be tempted? Whether or not it's true or not, the temptation.
to change it.
The
No,
temptation.
because if you change one part, you change it all. Disastrous. You gotta
Disaster.
say yes to life. All
Oh,
of its infinite detail. As if you'd have to live this life 1,000 times again, as you've lived it 1,000 times in the past, and you have to say yes to life.
But why then
Erase it
couldn't
all.
I say yes to the possibility of changing it?
Because then you change everything, all
Well,
the details,
all right,
everything.
okay.
You can't, if you're
Okay.
willing to do that,
I mean,
then
that
you're
would be
throwing your
hard.
life out the window. That's tragic.
No, I don't know that.
What are you doing here?
We're recording you.
You need to stop.
This is actually great.
Except for that.
what I'm thinking.
That's easy.
Awesome.
You gotta say you're a life denier. You gotta be a life affirmer.
How dare you? I am not a life denier. I'm in the
Here you go.
moment. I am so in the moment that I'm going to take you down.
So, Helena, what's your biggest regret?
My biggest regret. I guess since applying to college this year and stuff, not applying early decision to my first choice. So I had to wait until, just last week to find out. So I would have applied early decision to my first choice college probably.
If you could change your regret, would you?
Definitely. Yeah, I would definitely apply early.
Womp. Hi. I regret that I ever agreed to take this survey because it's a very difficult question. But I have overcome that, as you can see, by the fact that I'm talking to this computer and looking at myself. I regret that I'm as ugly as I am because I'm subjecting you to my fate. Well, I do that to students on a 40 minutes a day basis, sometimes 2 times a day for some of them. So I guess I can't complain too much. Does that answer your question?